have to do this video again. I am driving on my way to my parents' house for the weekend. I'm just gonna stay with my parents tonight, and because I don't have any space to be private and upload a video, I thought I'd just kind of record one while I'm driving home in my car. And I'm really excited about today's video because I was really inspired by a session that I had with a client yesterday, and I just kind of wanted to share the inside of the session with you guys. So the talk I was having was with someone that is really struggling with especially the more existential side of DPDR, so existential anxiety, fear of nihilism, of solipsism, all these kind of things. And we got talking about solipsism, right? And solipsism is basically the concept that your perception of reality is that it could be that you're completely alone, and that your experience of life could be a projection of your own consciousness, meaning that every person that you engage with is not real, but is just a sort of like a projection or something like that. That's an example of solipsism. So the core of solipsism is basically that you have the perception or that you would be completely, utterly alone in your own consciousness, in your own existence, and that life therefore doesn't really exist. And so obviously this is a very frightening concept to a lot of people, and I know that this is a thing that people with DPDR also struggle with, because of your experience of feeling so disconnected from life and feeling so disconnected from people and from yourself. You feel like this idea of solipsism could be more a reality than maybe it actually should be. So I want to share with you guys what I shared with my client yesterday and what we started to talk about. And so the thing that helped me the most with this concept of solipsism, if this is something you struggle with, is actually to not take it that seriously, in the sense that what I started to think about was how incredibly selfish is my mind if it thinks that it's so special that I would be the only person in this life, that I would be the only one that is actually experiencing this. How special do you think you are, so to say? And not to make fun of you at all, but if you think about it this way, it's actually quite funny that you would think that you are solely existing in your consciousness, and there's some God out there that's fooling you so much that it just wants you to have this false experience, and that you would be the only person or the only consciousness going through this. And that's what I realized with my own fear of solipsism was, Robin, how special do you think you are that you would be completely alone on this planet, in this existence? And it got me thinking as well, because what I realized is, and I'll explain something about the brain that will help you understand why this is such a frightening thought. A part of us, a part of our brain, I call this the mammal brain, or the part of our brain that's evolutionarily evolved from being mammals, means that we feel safe in our brain, in our core, when we are part of a community, when we are part of a group, and when we feel connected and taken care of by other people. Which is why so many people struggle with social anxiety, for example, is because one of the most frightening concepts in our brain is to be alienated from the group, is to feel alone, is to feel unprotected by our tribe, by our community. So knowing this, what I started to realize is to just look at my fear of solipsism, not as a theory that I actually had to take seriously, however, to see it as a reflection of my biggest human fear, which is to be alone, which is to be unprotected by, I guess, my tribe or my community, or to just be utterly existentially alone, is not a reality. It's a reflection of what we are most afraid of as human beings, as people. So what I would advise you if you struggle with this fear of solipsism is every time you have this thought, try and engage with it in the funny way that I just described, of saying, how special do you think you are? That you're the only person that's actually alive and that's actually having this experience. And to compassionately understand that the reason why this thought frightens you so much is because you're a human being, and because our biggest fear is to be alone and to feel alienated, either by the group, either by life. It's what unsafety means to us in our core is to not feel loved and supported and connected to a safe community or group, which is why, like I said, people struggle with social anxiety as well. And a lot of unsafety and a lot of anxiety comes from feeling alone or existentially isolated. So I hope that this helps you understand this fear of solipsism a little bit more. I'm thinking that I might do a little series in the future of like different kind of existential topics and trying to go into them a little bit. Also not too much, because I know that too much explanation is also not good, but just keep it brief, keep it short, and give yourself just that one thing to answer to your mind when it comes up with this topic, so you can let yourself let go and move on and sit with that fear of being alone, rather than having to have this brainstorm in your mind of trying to prove the thought wrong. So I'm at the grocery store right now. I'm just quickly gonna grab lunch before I go to my parents' house. It was lovely to see you guys. Lovely to do this little video with you today, and I hope you all have a beautiful weekend.